Can you say another game that's being made into a TV show that no one wanted? So Life is Strange is pretty much already a really, really slow TV show. It's narratively driven. It's one of those games where there's really no action. You're just walking around, talking to people, interacting with things. Get a cutscene with some more talking. Maybe the action happens in the cutscene, but you're not really doing any of that stuff yourself. Also, it's one of those games where or maybe not one of those games because I've seen other games that do the same thing, but for this game, the way the dialogue is, it's so slow. Like it sounds like everyone is talking in slow motion most of the time. So you're starting like you're in Chloe's room, right? And you're Max, and you're walking around her room, and you're interacting with different things. And Max is like narrating what she sees or whatever it is. And it just takes so fucking long. It takes so long. And unfortunately, almost everything in the room is interactable. So you're expecting to be able to just like, okay, well, leave Chloe's room, but then you're stuck in there for 30 minutes listening to dialogue. When they swear, it's like listening to children swear, like they say fuck, but the F, it's like they draw it out so much. Yeah, and you have people complain that say like has been hotel is cringy with all the swearing. It takes place in hell. This is a game that takes place on Earth, and yet they add the swearing where it's like what? Like Chloe, like Max will hold up a picture, right, of them as kids because they've known each other since they were kids, and Chloe will say something like, "Yeah, I remember when we took that fucking picture." So it's like slow, it's drawn out, the swearing is drawn out, and they try to make everything sound so much more emotional than it actually is. Um, if you've played the game, you know what I'm talking about. If you don't, you can't possibly understand the horror that we had to sit through. It's a good game, not really worthy of a TV show though. But Life is Strange TV show announced for Prime Video. The Life is Strange world is finally, because people have been clamoring about that for 10 years now, finally coming to TV with the help of Prime Video. Released in 2015, Life is Strange has charmed players with spectacular storytelling and meaningful themes. Like friendship and lesbians and other things, like not to abuse the power of time. Because when you do, it may have unforeseen consequences. Something that Max should have learned the first time around, but no, they decided to give her a second game. Instead, this time, she's not rewinding time. No, she is ripping through the very fabric of space and time and hopping into other universes. Parallel universes. This bitch clearly doesn't get it. Why was she doing it? Of course, to help a friend. Because rewinding time to try to save Chloe a million times and getting terrible outcomes essentially each and every time wasn't clear enough for her. There is one where she essentially has to help Chloe kill herself because Chloe is like bedbound or like in a fucking wheelchair, and Chloe's just like, please help me end it. And you have like the choice, if I remember, you have the choice of keeping her alive or you help her kill herself. Why? Because Max keeps fucking with time. And then not only that, there's this big old fucking storm on the way. And by the end of the game, you kind of realize that the storm has just gotten so much worse that it's connected to Max and her manipulation of time, and how, okay, this is my fault. Every time I've rewound time to help you, this storm gets worse. And then you have to make a choice. Do you save Arcadia Bay and sacrifice Chloe, or do you sacrifice Chloe to save everyone in Arcadia Bay? Meaning everyone you've met along the way, the people who don't deserve to die. Like Chloe's mom. She's a good woman. Even David, step douche. Um, so you have to make that choice. And if you pick to save Arcadia Bay, You know, you rewind time and you kind of let Chloe die. You know, she dies at the very beginning. Her and Nathan are in the bathroom having an altercation about supposed drugs, and Nathan pulls out a gun and shoots Chloe, and she essentially dies until Max realizes, oh, hey, wait, what is this? I can rewind time. Um, but instead, at the end of the game, you just kind of go back to that moment, and Max just stays in the stall and just allows it to happen because she knows, okay, well, no point rewinding. There's no point. It's just going to cause more trouble. But again, they give her a new game where she can tear through the very fabric of reality into a parallel universe, as if the bitch didn't get it the first time. And I heard a lot of people say, oh, well, she was helping her friend. And Chloe's like, am I a joke to you? She was doing that the first time with Chloe when she was just rewinding time. Now she can rip through reality itself into a parallel universe. But sure, try to defend the terrible choice of giving Max an entire game again. I hope it tastes good. Anyway, released in 2015, Life is Strange has charmed players with spectacular storytelling. It is good storytelling, it's just slow. And meaningful themes. Bringing the IP to Hollywood has been a long road, with multiple people attached. At one time, it was that Legendary, which had Street Fighter prior to Paramount. Now, Prime Video has secured the title and even brought on a showrunner, the end of the fucking world's Charlie Koval, to write Prime Video's Life is Strange. In an exclusive article from Variety, Prime Video announced that Life is Strange has been greenlit for a television show. The show will be produced by Story Kitchen and Lucky Chap, alongside Amazon MGM Studios that brought you such great things like The Rings of Power, where they sat there and lied to you and said, yeah, we are going to totally 150,000% respect the lore and writings of J.R.R. Tolkien. Spoiler alert, they fucking didn't. Furthermore, Charlie Koval has signed on to write, executive produce, and showrun the project. The director, known for his shows like The End of the Fucking World and Chaos, spoke on the matter to Variety, saying, it's a huge honor to be adapting Life is Strange for Amazon MGM Studios. I'm a massive fan of the game, and I'm thrilled to be working with the incredible teams at Square Enix, Story Kitchen, and Lucky Chap. I can't wait to share Max and Chloe's story with fellow players and new audiences alike. The logline for the show has been also shared with the outlet. Fortunately for fans, the show plans to adapt the first game in the series with Max and Chloe at the helm. Here's the synopsis for people who don't know what the fucking game's about. But at the end of the game, you'll sit there and chuckle to yourself and say, huh, I guess Life is Strange. No further details like production start or additional crew are available at the time. Still, given the almost decade-long wait, was anyone really waiting for this? Really? This is a refreshing start. Are you? No. 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 We've got, is Prime just trying to lose nonstop money? I don't get it. They have zero good shows. At least there's some decent stuff on Netflix. Fail to meet expectations as one of the reasons why it'll possibly fail. Oh my god. All these homophobes, they just don't appreciate gay female. As someone who would be accused of that, I played the first game. I liked the interaction between Chloe and Max. Great. It's like, just get into a fucking relationship already. With Before the Storm, when you see the whole thing with, you know, Chloe and Rachel and their relationship, same thing. There's a moment in that game where something happens between Max and Chloe. It's nighttime and they're standing under the light post and all that. You know which moment I'm talking about if you played the game. And when the moment finally happens, I've seen so many reactions of people just say, finally, it's about fucking time. Because it's a moment that you know should happen, you want it to happen, and it's almost like they tease it sometimes in the game leading up to that point, and when it finally does happen, you're like, fucking A. Fucking A. Thank you. Finally. Finally we got what we wanted. You could cut through the fucking tension with a knife. With a, not even like a sharp knife. You could take a freaking dull plastic knife and just cut right through it. So, you know, also, I really wish I would rather have it be like maybe with, you know, the second game. Because honestly, I think Rachel and Chloe, like Rachel herself, she's so much more fascinating than Max. In my opinion, she's just, given the fact of who she is and how everyone wanted to be her and, you know, her fate. And then you kind of realize that she's kind of a slut. You know, she was messing around with Frank, and Mr. Jefferson, and possibly Nathan. But it doesn't take away from like the moment in the first game where you finally find Rachel. Again, if you've played the game, you know what I'm talking about. But I think their relationship is a lot more interesting than Max and Chloe, and the fact that Rachel may have had powers that she didn't know about. It's kind of shown throughout this the game. One of the moments she's sitting there, it's her and Chloe, and they're sitting in the dining room having dinner with her family, with her mom and dad. And I can't remember how it starts, but they start arguing and she's yelling or, you know, she's kind of sitting there like just extremely angry. And they do this on purpose. They show a candle, right? And they show the flame of the candle just go, it just lights up. So it's like, okay, well that's kind of weird. She starts getting extremely angry and it's lighting the flame even more. And then when they're in the park, right? And she's got the thing in, you know, burning, and she knocks it over and she screams and the wind just whoosh, and the wind, you know, goes through and then it stops, but then she screams again and it picks right back up. So it's like, okay, the flame, oof, when she got angry, when she was outside, she was angry. She was able, there were just gusts of wind just came every time she screamed. People were thinking she was the storm in the first game. She was able to return almost as a spectral deer or doe. People were like, maybe she had powers that we didn't know about. Maybe she had control over the elements and it flared up when she got angry. You know, like her emotions were tied to these elemental abilities. She's the fucking Avatar. Just like take the Avatar opening and just replace all the other figures with Rachel, and that's basically what you get. But that all changed when the Fire Nation attacked. But yeah, failed to meet expectations. Oh my god, all those phobes, and isms. Isn't Life is Strange basically a TV series already? It's so narratively focused, you can watch it as though it were a TV series. More garbage shows no one gives two shits about. Kate be like, and I came in and I had to reply with this. So Kate is a character in the game, and it's one of those, if you know, you know. So Max, Kate is humiliated after she goes to a party and people take a picture of her, and she's like this really pristine girl, very religious and this and that. And she goes to this party and obviously bad things happen against her will. And she feels humiliated. She's up on the roof and you have the ability to save her, but also, if I remember, depending on what you say to her, you could say the wrong thing and she'll just kind of as shown by Kermit. So this is like one of those moments where I was looking through here before. Ass. Yeah, something like this, where you're talking to her and you pick a certain, and this will like pop up me like this action will have consequences. So, but yeah, I found it extremely funny because it's terrible. If I remember during that whole sequence, you're trying to get up to the top of the onto the roof, but you're going extremely slow. And I can't remember because it's been like 10 years since I played the game. But I remember Max walking incredibly slow through like the groups of people and but yeah, you have the choice. Well, not really. It's not like go on, Kate, jump. No, you talk to her and you might say the wrong thing and she might I don't even remember if she does. I don't even remember it. Hang on. I'm curious. I don't even remember if they actually show her on the ground or something. Hang on. I need to look it up. It's been 10 years. No, they don't show anything. They just kind of show her falling down off the building. I couldn't remember if there was like a scene after where they kind of show her on the ground. But yeah. Double Exposure flopped and shut the studio down for a reason. I actually like the first game. It's already an interactive series in a way. I'll skip this one. Lesbian girl power! The lesbian ending will become canon. Gay! What the fuck kind of money laundering scheme are the movie studios even doing? Never heard of a money laundering operation that results in wasting millions of dollars intentionally. Instant hard pass. Absolutely fuck no. They won't stop until they ruin everything that is good, will they? Ass! I'm gonna say it. People need to stop making TV shows out of everything. Pretty much. When it was just Life is Strange and Before the Storm, it was a somewhat beautiful story. Sure, progressive undertones, but not the full-blown psychosis of today's progressives. But the more the series went on, the more its luster was tarnished. Yeah, I mean, the third game with the brothers is basically a, oh my god, evil orange man, and everyone hates Mexicans, and they're just treated so badly, and oh my god, the cops kill the boy's father, and everywhere these kids go is like, we don't want your kind around here, and like every other basic stereotype of a fucking southerner. And then we got what Life is Strange 3 or whatever with freaking powers of empathy. Feelings. And then we had Double Exposure. Also we had the Captain Spirit game, which isn't really fully a Life is Strange game, but it's still, Captain Spirit is still a kid inside that universe. So what was I didn't actually finish reading it. But the more the series went on, the more Lester was tarnished, with the actual sequel being dog shit. I'm going to be a dad. Why? The sequels flopped. The sequels flopped. It is a dead series. Why? Is this based off a game? Don't care. Turning a walking sim into a TV show is so fascinatingly pointless. Why would anyone want this? No one cares about lesbian bullshit. Yeah, like I said, the game's fine for what it is, but to turn into a TV show, it makes no sense. It makes no sense. Are they going to do what they do in the game? And every time you interact with something, they're going to talk extremely slow and you know, dialogue for everything you interact with. But I mean, it'd be interesting because each one has like a chapter. So seeing how they do the finale, the true full finale of the game, you know, with Jefferson and what's the dark room? It was the dark room or the black room? I think it's a dark room. Hang on. Yeah, I was right the first time. It's the dark room. See, it's been like 10 years, but I still kind of remember. So it'd be interesting to see. Maybe each season will be like each chapter, each kind of like DLC for the game. And it'll culminate into the dark room, which is like the finale. But there'd be really no point in stretching it on that far. So I hope they are able to do the story in just one season, 1 or 2 seasons. Um, but it's still, what's the point? No one was asking for this. Anyway, let me know if you guys played the first game, what you thought of it. What did you think about Before the Storm, which I think is superior. Just like I said, I think the story of Chloe and Rachel it's just a better story. What you guys think about Life is Strange 2 with the brothers and the, oh my god, the evil racist cops killed my padre, and now I have powers, and or the fourth game or third game where it's like, oh, empathy, and now the freaking double exposure where, hi, I'm Max Caulfield. You might remember me from a game called Life is Strange, where I had the power to rewind time. You thought I would learn my lesson back then, but now I have the power to rip through reality itself and hop into alternate dimensions and realities, all to save a friend. What could possibly go wrong this time? Anyway, that's gonna do for me. You guys know the drill. I'll see you guys later. Bye, guys.